welcome to I Can Crochet That's YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn how to do the Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch. I'm so excited about this stitch. I couldn't find one anywhere, and I've had lots of requests for a Tunisian stitch that is just like the regular crochet waffle stitch. And after quite a bit of experimenting, I'm happy to say I came up with one that I think you're going to love. It has that same squishy texture as the regular crochet waffle stitch, and I've done 3 different patterns with it, and I'm so excited. So let's learn. Okay, before we get started on the stitch tutorial, let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is Tunisian crochet hooks. This is probably the most common question I get is what kind of hooks are my favorite? What kind of hooks do I use? Where do I buy the hooks? So today I'm going to feature one set of hooks that are new to me. I just got them last week and I'm pretty excited about them. Now I know a lot of you, there's controversy about bamboo hooks. Some of you like them, some of you don't. And I do like them as long as they are nice and smooth. And I'm happy to report that these Tunisian crochet hooks that are bamboo are nice and smooth. There's been no snagging at the head of the crochet hook, which is a common problem. And if you're wondering where I got them from Temu. And they're also very affordable. I know there are hook sets out there that are over $100, and especially for those of you who are just starting out, you don't want to spend $100 on hooks. I totally get it. So these were not $100. I will link to them in the description, and you can check the price and check the details and all that good stuff. But it comes in a nice case, and it has lots of different sizes, from small all the way to this big one, and it has that elusive 7mm hook, which is the one I'm using today, that a lot of sets do not include, which is quite annoying because a lot of my patterns call for the 7mm, and it's the perfect size for a lot of projects. So it comes with these stoppers and the little gripper, and then the little tools to tighten the hooks or tighten the cables onto your hooks. And then it comes with 4 different size cables. And so far so good. I'm really happy with it. And I definitely like it better than some of the other bamboo sets that I have. And yeah, super excited about it. So like I said, I will link to it below and you can check it out. All right, let's get started. So for the Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch, it is a multiple of 3 plus 2. And the stitches that you will need to know are, get ready for this because this is a really long name for a crochet stitch. It is called the extra long front post Tunisian double crochet stitch. Whew, that is a mouthful. I will not be saying that over and over again because I'll be stumbling over my words. So we're just going to call it the extra long stitch for now. But that is one of the stitches that you need to know. And then just the simple Tunisian simple stitch and the Tunisian reverse stitch. So don't worry, I'm going to go over all this. I'm going to show it to you step by step. And I'm excited for you to learn this stitch and start making gorgeous, textured, and squishy crochet projects. All right, let's get started. Okay, so like I said, the waffle stitch, Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch, is a multiple of 3 plus 2. So for today's example, I'm going to do 15 plus 2. So chain 15 plus 2, so 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right, got your 17 chains. Now it's very common in Tunisian crochet to bring up a loop in the back bump. And I've had some of you comment on some of my videos saying you don't need to do that. You can just go into the chain. I totally get it. Yes, you can. You can go into the chain if you want to. But I have actually started doing this with not just Tunisian crochet projects, but regular crochet going in the back bump. I personally just prefer it. I like the way the finished edge looks when you go in the back bump. So that's how I'm going to teach it. But you are more than welcome to go into that chain if you want to. So do whatever works best for you. All right, so you've got your 17 chains. Turn it over. And you'll see there are back bumps on the back of the chain. as you can see there. So we're going to go into the second back bump from the hook. So there's the first one kind of hiding right there, and there's the second one. So you're going to insert your hook into that second back bump, yarn over, bring up a loop. And we're going to do that all the way across. Insert your hook into the next back bump, yarn over, bring up a loop. And as with Tunisian crochet, all the loops will stay on your hook. So let's continue that across until we get to the end. All right, we're coming to that last back bump. Insert your hook into the last back bump, yarn over, and bring up a loop. And since we chained 17, you should have 17 loops on your hook. So let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so for this return pass, so for Tunisian crochet, what I just did is called the forward pass. And this next one is called the return pass. And the return pass is where you're basically bringing the loops off of your hook. So for this return pass, we're going to chain 1 and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do that all the way across until we get to the end. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now most Tunisian crochet stitches and patterns will have this return pass, the chain 1 and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but there are a few stitches that the return pass is a little bit different, so just be sure that you check the notes on those patterns to make sure that the return pass, that you're doing the correct return pass. All right, we have 2 loops left on our hook, so yarn over, pull through 2, and that is your Tunisian crochet foundation chain. Okay, so for the waffle stitch, like I said, you will need to know the Tunisian reverse stitch. Now this looks a little bit harder than it is, but I promise it does get easier as you get used to it. It is one of the easier Tunisian crochet stitches in my opinion, so just watch closely, do some practice, and you will figure it out, I promise. So with Tunisian crochet, there is a front loop and there is a back loop. So when you turn it over, see there's the back loop and then there's the front loop. So for the reverse stitch, let me see if I can pick up my needle here. We are going to go into that back loop. So we're basically turning it over and bringing up our hook into that back loop. So if that doesn't make sense, just keep watching. All right, front loop, back loop. So make sure that this is tight. So for this one, for Tunisian crochet, you do not go into that first stitch, you go into the second one. So this counts as the first one. So we're always going to leave that one because that's the first stitch on your hook, and we're going to go into the second one. So look for that second bar, the second back bar, turn it over like this, insert your hook. This first one's a little bit tricky. Insert your hook into that back bar like that, yarn over, bring up a loop. Okay, let's do that again. So the third one, there's the front bar, turn it over, look for that back bar, insert your hook into the back bar, yarn over, bring up a loop. And what this stitch is doing is it's pushing out this chain and it's creating a really cool texture. And the other great thing about this stitch is it doesn't curl, so it helps a lot with curling. So if you have a project like with Tunisian simple stitch or Tunisian knit stitch that is curling a lot, you can break up the pattern by putting in some reverse stitches. And I have a couple patterns like that, and it just helps with curling. Yeah, helps the project stay nice and flat. So for this one, we're going to do the Tunisian reverse stitch all the way across until we get to the last Tunisian stitch. So again, just turn it towards you, find that back loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Next one, find that back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Find that back bar, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. All the way across. And as you can see, we're starting to push out those stitches. All right, let's finish this up across the row. All right, so we just did the second to last stitch, went into the back bar. Now for this stitch, this is called our last Tunisian stitch. Turn it towards you, look for that front bar and the back bar. Now for the last stitch on a Tunisian row, we're going to go under both of those. So you're going to insert your hook under the front and the back bar. So turn it towards you where it's facing up. Insert your hook into the front and the back bar, like that. And that just makes sure that we have a nice clean edge. Yarn over, pull through the front and back bar, and that is the last Tunisian stitch. All right, so that is our row of reverse stitch. See how we have that nice little bumpy texture? This is going to be the dividing line of our waffle stitches, as you'll see it take shape. All right, the return pass again is chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do that all the way across. Yarn over, pull through 2. All right, so now we are ready for row 2. Row 2 is super easy. It is Tunisian simple stitch all the way across, and that's it. So for the Tunisian simple stitch, again, this is your first stitch right here. We do not bring our bar into that first stitch. We look for the second one. And again, there's a front bar and a back bar. So for Tunisian simple stitch, we only go under that front bar. Okay, so find that second stitch, insert your hook under that front bar, yarn over, pull through the front bar, bring up a loop. Again, the third one, insert your hook under that front bar, yarn over, pull through the bar, bring up a loop. Next one, insert your hook in that front bar, yarn over, and bring up a loop all the way across until you get to the end. All right, second to last stitch, Tunisian simple stitch. Now we're at the end. Again, look for that front bar and the back bar of the end and insert your hook underneath both of those to have a nice clean edge. Bring up a loop. All right, now let's do the return pass. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, all the way across. All right, so see we've got our row of reverse stitches, our row of Tunisian simple stitches. Now we're ready for a row which is a mixture of the Tunisian simple stitch and the, get ready for it, extra long front post Tunisian double crochet stitch, which I will show you in detail. All right, now we're ready for the third row. You've got your reverse stitches in your row of Tunisian simple stitches, and the third row is a mixture of Tunisian simple stitch and the extra long front post Tunisian double crochet stitch, which that is the last time I'm going to say that. So we're just going to call it the extra long stitch for now. So this is kind of tricky to get a hang of, but I promise you, once you practice it, you'll get it no problem, and you'll be creating gorgeous waffle stitch projects. So, all right, for this row, again, this is you leave that loop on your hook. Do not go into the first stitch. You look for the second stitch, and we're going to do a Tunisian simple stitch in that first bar. Okay, now for the second one right here, or the third one, we are going to do an extra long front post double crochet, which we're going to do that in not this row, but the row that we did the Tunisian reverse stitch. So you're going down 1, 2, 3. So you're going down to that first row. You're always going to do this into that Tunisian reverse stitch row. So let me see if I can show this with the needle. Okay, so this is the row we're on. You're not going to go into that one. This is the Tunisian simple stitch row. You're not going to go into that one. This is the reverse stitch row. Let me take my hook out. So you're going to look for that bar, and then on this reverse stitch row, you're going to look for that back and front bar of that reverse stitch row, and you're going to bring up a loop underneath that back bar and that front bar, and that is where your stitch is going to go into. Okay, let me show you. Okay, for the extra long stitch, you're going to yarn over, go 1, 2, 3 rows down to that reverse stitch row, and this is good to have a pointed Tunisian crochet hook for this, because you kind of have to dig under there to get to that back bar. All right, so look for that reverse stitch row. Find that back bar and that front bar. And then yarn over, pull up a loop underneath both of those bars. Chain 1, this is the extra long part of the double crochet, chain 1, then yarn over and pull through 1, 2 loops, and that is your extra long stitch. All right, are you confused yet? Okay, we'll do it again. So for the rest of the pattern, we're going to do 2 simple stitches after that extra long stitch. So 2 simple stitches. And then for this one, again, we're not going to go into this one. We're not going to go into that row. We're going to look for the reverse stitch row and look for that back and front bar. Trying to point it out with the needle, it's a little tricky. But find that reverse stitch row, find that back and front bar. So yarn over, go 3 rows down, kind of dig in there with your hook for that back bar, front bar, and then yarn over and bring up a loop. And you're going to want to pull it up a little bit. Chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. All right, as you can see, the waffle stitch is starting to take shape. So you've got your reverse stitch row, simple stitch row, and now our mixture of Tunisian simple stitch and the extra long double crochet row. All right, so you're skipping. The one thing I forgot to mention is that for your double crochet, you're basically skipping that stitch on your row. So when you go to do the next simple stitch, you're not going to go into that one. So if you hold your work up like that, that stitch is basically hiding behind this front post double crochet. So look for the next one and do a simple stitch, and then the next one, a simple stitch. See? All right, let's do another extra long front post. So yarn over, go down 2 rows to your reverse stitch row, look for that back bar and the front bar, and insert your hook under both. Yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And again, don't go through the one behind your double crochet. You're going to go to the next one to do your simple stitch, and then another simple stitch. All right, so after 2 simple stitches, we're ready for another extra long front post crochet, double crochet. So yarn over, go 3 rows down, look for that back loop and front loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, look for the next 2 front bars, 2 Tunisian simple stitches, and then another extra long double crochet. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3, look for that reverse stitch row, and look for the back bar and front bar. Pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And see, you're getting those little waffle pockets. Okay, so we now have 1 stitch left here and then the last Tunisian stitch. So for this stitch, we do a Tunisian simple stitch, and then turn your work towards you. Look for that front and back bar for the last Tunisian stitch. Insert your hook under both, yarn over, pull up a loop. See? All right, now let's do the return pass. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops all the way across. And that is our first 3 rows of the Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch. What you think? You confused? Are you liking it? I hope you're liking it. Okay, so for this next row, all the way across, we're doing the Tunisian reverse stitch. And this row is a little bit easier than that reverse stitch on the first row, because as you can see, your chains are a little bit or stitches are a little bit looser, so it's super easy to see that front bar and that back bar. And if your stitches are really tight and you're really struggling to get underneath that back bar, you might want to practice crocheting a little bit looser, and that will help you with Tunisian crochet. I am definitely more of a tight crocheter with regular crochet, and with Tunisian crochet I really had to learn how to kind of loosen my grip so that it was easier to get my hook under those stitches. And once I got the hang of that and realized the tension that I needed to crochet at, it made Tunisian crochet way easier. So, all right, let's do our Tunisian reverse stitch row again. Skipping this first stitch, look for the second one, look for that back bar, turn your work towards you, insert your hook into that back bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. Look for the third one, put it towards you, look for that back bar, insert your hook in the back bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. And that's the reverse stitch. Let's go all the way across to do the reverse stitch until you get to the last Tunisian stitch. got this one more and then our last one. So Tunisian reverse stitch in that second to last stitch. For the end, again, turn it towards you, go through the front and the back bar. Pull up a loop. And see, this is just giving you a really nice edge. And it also makes doing the border, finding those stitches for the border for your project a lot easier. And this, several of my waffle stitch patterns, I think all of them actually do have a border on them, which I will show you in another video. All right, return pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across. Oops. All right, see, look at that. So with the reverse stitches and the front post stitches, you're getting those waffle pockets. And this is such a squishy stitch, and just like regular crochet, nice and squishy, and I am just in love with it. All right, let's do a few more rows, and so we can really get the hang of that extra long front post Tunisian double crochet stitch, which is a little bit tricky. So we'll do a few more rows of that. All right, so we just did a reverse stitch row. Now this row is all Tunisian simple stitch. So Tunisian simple stitch all the way across. And your return pass. All right, so now we are ready for our simple stitch and extra long front post stitch row. So for this row, find that second stitch. We're going to do a simple stitch. And then we're skipping this one, we're skipping this one, and we're finding that reverse stitch row. So 1, 2, 3 rows down, find that reverse stitch row, find that front and back bar. It can kind of help if you poke your nails in there to find that front and back bar. Yarn over, go under the front and back bar of the Tunisian reverse stitch row, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, skipping the stitch that's behind your front post stitch, find the next 2. We'll do 2 simple stitches, 1, 2, go 1, 2, 3 down to that reverse stitch row, find that back bar and the front bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 simple stitches and a front post stitch. Yarn over on the reverse row, go through the front and back bar, and finish your extra long stitch. 2 simple stitches, and then a front post. 1, 2, 3. And see, as you're going, it is definitely getting looser, and it's easier to find that front and back bar. It's really, this first row is really the trickiest row because your stitches are a little bit tighter, and it can be a little bit trickier to find that front and back bar, but as you go, it gets much, much easier. So now let's do the front post double crochet. And then the next 2 stitches are simple stitch. Now you should have 1, 2, 3 stitches left, these 2, and then your last Tunisian stitch. So we'll do the front post, and then 1 simple, and then our last Tunisian stitch. All right, now the return pass. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. What you think? All right, it's really starting to take shape. Okay, I'm going to stop chit-chatting, and I'm just going to let you observe and watch and practice along with me. So the name of the stitch that we're doing will pop up on the screen so you'll know what row we're on. And let's just do a couple more rows of this together until you get the hang of it. There you go, the Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love it. All right, before we end this tutorial, let's talk about how to bind off the Tunisian Crochet Waffle Stitch. So for Tunisian crochet, the last row is always what's called the bind off. So you're basically, well, let me show you. So for this one, the bind off, we're going to do a bind off with the Tunisian reverse stitch, so that this row matches this row. So we're doing a Tunisian slip stitch reverse stitch basically. Okay, so to bind off your Tunisian crochet waffle stitch, we're going to do the reverse stitch. So again, find that second stitch, point it towards you, find that back bar. Now the only difference, we're still bringing up a loop, but instead of leaving it on your hook, we're pulling it through the loop on the hook. And that's going to create a bind off of chains all the way across of stitches. All right, look for that next one. Insert your hook in that back bar, bring up a loop, bring that loop through the loop on your hook. So you should always have one loop on your hook. Okay, the next one, back bar, bring up a loop, pull it through the loop on your hook. And see, it's creating these really nice stitches along here. Give it a nice clean edge. All right, let's just do that all the way across. All right, we're at the last Tunisian stitch, and we do it exactly like we've done all the other last Tunisian stitches. Insert your hook in that front and back bar, and then pull through the loop on your hook, and you're left with one loop. So now you can fasten it off if you want, or if your pattern calls for a border, then you can start the border. So I hope that you have enjoyed learning how to do the Tunisian crochet waffle stitch as much as I enjoyed coming up with it and creating patterns. I have 3 patterns. I have a blanket, a dishcloth, and a scarf for you to check out and practice this. So again, I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, happy crocheting.